Okay guys, I've got my son's 2000 Sunfire, Pontiac Sunfire. Uh, Been sitting up for over a year now. He had messed up the car by letting it overheat. Tried to do some repairs. So in here, I actually replaced the reservoir, the water pump, and the power steering pump, actually, on this car. So I could try to get it, because the power steering was acting up anyways. But as you can see, it's very hard to get to the front of the motor where everything's at, and it was a pain in the butt just to get to the water pump. I mean, the power steering pump, to replace it. And I still never replaced the main line, the main pressure line to the water pump. Still needs to be replaced. And I'm, like I said, been sitting here for a year. My biggest concern is that the reservoir is empty. And I know that would have been full before I brought it home. So I know I really hadn't looked at this thing in a year because I was kind of frustrated with it. But now I'm trying to figure out what I can do with this thing to either get it back up to running condition, or to actually just unload it as parts car for somebody else. Right now, like I said, I know that it's in pretty rough shape. I'm sorry, I already started trying to put some water on it to clean it off, but you can see it's covered in all kinds of grime and dirt and everything. It's never been in the best of condition anyways. Cheap car, paid $1,200 for it probably 10 years ago. So the car's got over almost, I think it's like 300,000 miles on it. But it was a very good car while it lasted. We got more than our $1,200 out of it. Problem is my son doesn't have a car to take himself back and forth to work. If I could get this thing running, it would be perfect to get him back and forth to work, if I can just get a few more miles out of it. But if I can't, like I said, I'll just sell it as a parts car. Probably, since they got the new power steering pump, water pump, reservoir, all that I put on here, that's new parts. I'm sure somebody out there could use those, and I could get my money back out of that material. And it still had a strong transmission in it, even if he's messed the motor up for letting it overheat. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm not too worried about the car too much, other than not sure about what else could be wrong with it, other than I know he let the, of course I replaced the thermostat. He just didn't take care of it. He wouldn't take it to the shop, even though he knew it occasionally would overheat. So here we are. So now I'm at the point where I've got a junk car sitting in my yard. Just need to do something with it. Like I said, I'm going to try to get this thing washed up and get it cleaned out so that we can at least sell it if I don't get it back in running condition. It's fairly decent shape. It does have some dings. It wasn't a previous owner had it. It did have some hailstorm damage, which you can't really, you might be able to see a little bit of it, like right there in the front fender, but you can't really tell it too much with all this dirt on it. But as soon as I wash it off, it'll be fairly obvious. But like I said, the car sits here for over a year. I'm just tired of seeing it here, so I'm going to either do one of two things: sell it as is, or get it running. Hopefully I can get it running. I see so many people that are able to get just cars in all kinds of different condition running again. So I'm going to mess with this one just because it's what I have here. I know it's nothing special. But when you watch all these other guys take these cars that are look worse than this and seem like they can get them running and going, I would think I could probably get this going. My biggest concern is just if there's anything really major internal with the engine that's messed up. That could be a non-starter and make it to where I can't get this thing started. I'm trying to put a charger, but it's just it's getting a little bit of juice going to the battery, not much, because because that battery's been, like I said, sitting up here not holding a charge for a long time. So I'll leave that on there for a while, see if that helps. And I'm about to give it a bath to see if we can get all this moldy, grimy tree gunk and leaves and everything else off the car. Like I said, my son didn't ever I don't think he ever washed the car the whole time he had it. I think I washed it maybe twice myself in that 10 years because it was his car. I wasn't too worried about it. As you can see, my truck, it's over there. I've washed it many a times. It's not too bad a condition, doesn't need another wash, but it's not like this. But it did at one point, it looked kind of like this because I had it parked when after my wife passed away from COVID. She had a 2015 Honda CRV, which was in pretty good shape. So I rode it for, well, forever until I got to the point where I just could not afford that car, the insurance, and then of course my old house here needs lots of work. Just got the roof replaced from the insurance company. Finally paid for it and got the roof replaced on that, but I still need foundation work, front porch work, floor work in the house and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons this has got to go, because I'm just trying to monotonously go through and do the things that I've kind of been putting off for a while, which includes, as you can see, windows. I got windows that are covered up in the house, like this one, and there's a couple more in the house that are covered up because the glass broke in them, and some of them, it was cracked years ago and just never got replaced. One of them, the actual pane just actually came apart, and I didn't even realize it was even missing because I had curtains in front of it for years. Didn't even realize it's a room where I don't really stay. So I really didn't notice it, but I knew it was cold up there. And then one day I was up there and just happened to be in that area and realized the whole outside, and noticed the whole top window pane had come crashing down and was not even up. So the whole bottom of the pane came off and the glass slid right out of it. So of course it broke. I've got it out and I've already repaired the frame for that window, and then I've got to get another piece of glass for that window that's back there. It's by my bedroom. There's some other stuff I got to do. You can see some of these windows were never cleaned after the house was painted probably 10 years ago. So some of the windows have still got paint residue from 10 years ago on them. So those need to really be cleaned. That's something that just, one of those things that I just never got around to, but that needs to really happen. And there's siding repairs that need to be done, things like that. I got an old swimming pool back here that's now a cesspool instead of a swimming pool. Haven't decided quite what to do with that yet. I have some ideas. One of my favorite ideas that I've had so far is to build a shop on top of the swimming pool, which I know sounds crazy, but then if I build the shop on top of the swimming pool, then I could build like a storage basement, because it's already got a nice, dugout place in the bottom of it. So it'd be kind of interesting if that could work out. I'm going to look into that eventually, see if there's a way to, transverse, to build a safe, kind of thing there. So it's already got a cement pad around the pool, and then it's got, the sides of the pool. Of course, I'd have to fill in the deep end because I wouldn't want it that big, but it'd be nice to have like a little storage area underneath a shop out there. If I can get a floor that would be strong enough to cover that pool area up. However that would be, I need an engineer to figure that out with one of these companies that build these metal buildings, because that's probably what I'd go with, like a metal 2-car garage kind of building back there or something. This old shed, of course, is in rough shape. It's all the overhang, the outside overhang has got to be replaced, and the roof on it was not done. So the roof on it will have to be done eventually too. Just have to work on getting that taken care of also, but that's kind of the lower priority compared to just getting the house in shape right now is what I'm worried about, and getting this car out of the way. So that's just an idea of what's going on. Old well house there. It needs some TLC too. It needs to be concrete work and be stabilized, and a new cover put over the well hole. Not used anymore, of course. That well's been dried up years ago, but when we first moved here, we were using that back in 1977 when we first moved here. That's how we got our water. But now we have city water. They put in like 1980 or so, and so now we have water from the county, because they tapped in and the water tower was removed. That was put in 1980 for the city because it was inadequate to handle the volume that the city was even needing to put out. So it was dismantled probably 5 or 6 years ago. Now it's been. So that's kind of another interesting fact. But now he's tied into the county water. So, but everything. House is pretty nice. Got a lot of junk on the porch that I'm trying to get rid of. That's what I'm working on with that now. Across the street, right across the street from a tennis court. Now it's got pickleball courts on it too, which I have no idea about that. I never even knew what pickleball was until they said, "Oh, we're putting a pickleball court over here." I'm like, I've heard of pickleball vaguely, but don't even know anything much about it. So that's kind of interesting. But I can literally walk straight out my front door, straight over to the tennis court, and walk into the tennis court straight from my front door. So if that's kind of interesting. So there you go. Let me get on washing this car, and I will be back in a few minutes and let y'all see what I did.